Hi Flosstube, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel, Loves Rubber Stamps and Needle Crafts. Today is Friday, September 2nd, 2022, and I'm here for Flosstube video number 26, which is going to be all about my August recap of the month. So shouldn't be a very long video because in the month of August I only got to stitch on 2 projects and I didn't have a lot of haul or anything, so should be a pretty quick one. So we'll go ahead and get started. First, a little bit of a brief life update. So at work I'm still training, and I will be training for at least the next month and a half. So while I'm training, I can't take any of my stitching to work like I normally would. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't have as much stitching to share, because I just haven't had a lot of time to stitch. So, and then during the weekdays, Mondays through Thursdays, I babysit my 2 granddogs for my daughter, because she works 12-hour shifts, and my granddogs are both Chihuahuas. So it's hard for them to hold their bladders that long, and I don't like the thought of them being in their kennel for 12 hours while she's at work. So they come to our house. They just live half a block away, so they come to our house Monday through Thursdays. So when they're here, they're totally lap dogs, so I don't get anything accomplished while I'm babysitting the dogs. So that cuts into my stitching time. So really, about the only time I've had to stitch is maybe Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays if I don't have any housework to catch up on or other things. So not a whole lot of stitching time recently. Hopefully once I finish training and kind of get back to normal schedules and stuff, hopefully that'll pick up some. So a little bit of sad news for our family. So was it last Friday, so a week ago, we had 2 dogs, Teddy, who's my absolute baby, and we had our other dog, Bella. She was 16 and had cancer, and she ended up passing away last Friday. So that was really difficult. That whole week I didn't stitch. I pretty much just cuddled with her and spent time with her since it was getting really close. She had breast cancer, and about a week before she passed away, she was starting to have trouble walking, where she was really slowing down and didn't want to do the stairs. And then with a couple of days later, she kind of stopped eating really and just wanted to drink water and sleep really. So we knew that her time was close, so we just spent quality time with her and kept her comfortable until she passed away last Friday. So that was really difficult. It's kind of bittersweet because you miss her. I miss her a whole lot, but I'm also glad that she's free from her cancer and doesn't have to worry about that anymore. So we had that happen, and then what else? We've had some electrical work done. So in my craft room down here, my electricity hasn't been hooked up since we built this room. It's an add-on to our basement. And the electricians finally came and hooked up my electricity, so now my overhead lights work and some of my outlets. Apparently there was one wall of outlets that my husband ran all the wires when he built the walls, but apparently the electrician couldn't find the wire for this wall behind me. So the outlets on that wall apparently don't work because he couldn't find the wire. So as soon as we can find the wire, those outlets will get hooked up, but otherwise all my overhead lights are hooked up now, and all the outlets on the other walls all are supposed to work. So that's exciting. And then really the only other news is my husband and I went to the fair this year and ended up buying a hot tub, which we went there to look at them, but we weren't planning on really buying one. But we did, and the unfortunate thing is it's not scheduled. They're so behind now with all the sales from the fair that it's supposed to be delivered in the middle of December. So I may get to use my hot tub for the first time in the middle of winter in Iowa. So I won't like getting in and out of it, I can tell you that, because I don't like being cold, but it will probably feel good being in the warm water, except my face will be cold, I think. We'll see how it goes. So I was really hoping it would be a lot sooner than that, but December, early January is what they're telling us right now. So I think that's about it for life updates. So not a whole lot, just pretty much work and babysitting the dogs. So that's it. Hang on one second. My other dog, Teddy, is a compulsive paw licker. He's got allergies, and he's been really bad lately about licking his paws, to where he's turning his fur kind of orangish red from all the iron in his slobber. So hang on one second. Teddy, stop. Stop. Gotta quit licking your paws. I'm sure you could probably hear it too. It's kind of annoying. All right, so that's enough of that. So we'll go ahead and get started with the life update. Or sorry, already did that with our stitching update. So like I mentioned, I only got to work on 2 projects. So the first one that I've worked on is by Country Cottage Needleworks, and it was my March Cottage of the month. And I'll insert a picture here of where it was at last time. And here is where I'm at currently. So I pretty much have the house completely stitched. All I have to do is add the little pins on the windows, and the house is finished. And so really I just have the 2 borders, the name and the tree and the little lambs. So the big part of it's finished. Now it's just filling in all the little details. And I did pick a couple of colors of my own. I believe the greens I'm using and the pink are from Color and Cotton, but I did choose colors that were very similar to how it's charted. But I just used what I had received in my stash that I thought was close. I do plan on stitching the little, when I get to the sheep, I do plan on stitching those using whisper thread, so they're a little fuzzy. But this I'm stitching, I believe it's on the called for fabric, which is, oh, what is it, Laura? I believe it's a 28 count. Yeah, it is the call for it. This is a 28 count lamb's wool linen. So it's kind of rough. Kind of feels like it's kind of rough and scratchy, but that's where I am on that one. Then the only other project that I've worked on since last time was my Dreamer Max Colors by Nadia Strelkina. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. And this one I had picked up because it was a in Full Coverage Fanatics, which is a Facebook group, they had a weekend challenge where it was called Scavenger Hunt. And it was to stitch on kind of some mythical type creature. So I chose this one because she's I believe like a fairy, because she's got wings. So either some kind of fairy or sprite. So that's why I chose her. And then after I had all my stuff drug out to stitch on that one, anytime I had stitching time, I just picked it up and kind of stitched on this one. So I'll insert a picture of where I was at the last time you saw it here. And here is where I'm at currently. So basically I've just been working on this page here. This page kind of ends right here, and kind of working on filling this in. So again, kind of what I've been doing is picking a color close to the top here and then stitching it wherever that color kind of goes, just following the color. And if I run out of that color here and I still have some on my needle, I'll check any of the other pages to see if there are some stitches that I can go ahead and fill in while it's on my needle. So that's kind of how I've been doing them. I love working on this one. The colors are so pretty, and it's a lot of confetti, but the effect of it is just really, really pretty. So these are kind of some of the tree leaves, and I really love how, if you kind of look, there's like a misty, almost like a misty fog that this scene has. And you can kind of see how, now that I've got some of these colors filled in, like you can really see the little fog and how it kind of goes, like here it goes over this tree. You can see where the tree gets kind of light and then it goes back into the dark where the fog isn't. So I just think details like that are really, really cool and really pretty. So I love stitching this one and seeing all those details kind of come out in there. So that's where I'm at on that one. And that is all I've done for stitching this month. So not a lot of stitching time, but I think I did make some pretty decent progress on the couple that I did get a stitch on. So that's the main thing. So now I just have, I did get a little bit of haul. I don't have very much because I haven't really been searching online or really buying much, surprisingly. But I did order some kits from Yarn Stories on Etsy. So they are from, oh goodness, where are they out of? Starts with an L. It's a country overseas. Lithuania? Something like that. Anyway, I literally placed my order and I had my order from overseas in less than a week. It was crazy. So extremely fast shipping. It was packaged really, really well. I love their stuff. They have some great kits and things. So I'll show you the kits that I ordered from them. And again, it was Yarn Stories on Etsy. So the first kit I got was from Lettuce Stitch. This is called, so Lettuce Stitch is a part, I don't know if they collaborate with Luca S or if it's like a parent company, or if Luca S is a parent company of Lettuce Stitch, but they have some really pretty charts. So this one, sorry, I'm trying to make the glare not be so bad, is called Santa Claus and Snowman. And I think it's really pretty. Sorry for the glare. Trying not to make it glare. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. So that one's really pretty. And this comes with anchor floss So it's Anchor Floss, and this one has 16 count Ada. Love that one. The next kit I got is a Luca S kit, and it's called Birdhouse and Roses. This is an 18 count Ada with Anchor Floss. This glare is horrible today. There's kind of a little good spot there. So again, just white Ada and the Anchor Floss. This next one I got is called, it's another lettuce stitch or Letty stitch. It's got 16 count Ada with Anchor Floss, and it's called Christmas Hugs. That's what this one looks like. Get sweet. Let's do the floss. And then this one is also a lettuce stitch or Letty stitch kit. And I was watching a Flosstuber, and I can't remember their name, sorry. But she was working on this one, and it was really pretty. She just had a little bit of the sky done, but it's a beautiful kit. So this is actually why I went to Yarn Stories and found it, because I was looking for this kit after the lady I was watching shared it on her Flosstube. So it's called Christmas Wood, and this is what this one looks like. I just love the colors in the sky and the animals. It's just beautiful. I'm thinking that all the snow is like French knots or something, so that'll probably be horrible, but the effect is really pretty. I mean, look by the tree how they have the, it's almost like the Smyrna crosses, but that looks really pretty. And this one has 16 count Ada, comes with the Anchor Floss, and I noticed like on here, there's one that's like a Krynic or a Sparkle Floss. You can see that. So that'll be interesting to use. I got two more kits. This one is by Luca S, and it's an 18 count Ada with Anchor Floss called Christmas Eve. And again, I just thought the colors in this were really pretty. I love the sky at sunset. It's got a pretty cardinal. And then the last kit I got was Luca S Gold Collection. It's on 16 count Ada. Has 60 colors. And this one is called the Tiger. And I just thought this one was really pretty. And you know me and tigers. Every tiger, I gotta stitch it. Or big cat, lion, jaguar, leopard. Gotta stitch them all. So those were my kits that I purchased. And then the only other thing, I don't know where I stuck them, but there's a couple of patterns that I bought, which once I find them, I'll set them aside so I can show you next time. There was one digital pattern that I purchased from Charting Creations, and it was one of Sheena Pike's new designs called Moonlit Bears, I believe. Daydream Moonlit Bears, I think is what it's called. And I got the large version of this, so I'll insert a picture of that design here. And that is all I have for you today. So this is like a record short video from me. Just really quickly, plans moving forward. I still want to try to do a Stitch With Me video. Try to make one of those. I'd still like to kind of do like a Stitch With Me video about halfway in between my monthly updates, so it's not so long between videos. And other than that, I'm really trying to figure out kind of a rotation since I don't get a lot of stitching time. You know how it is. You always want to stitch on all of your stuff. And I wish I had like 8 arms or something so I could have, you know, be stitching on multiple things. But I want to make progress on my full coverage and kind of work on a variety of them, but I also want to see progress on them. So that's my struggle, is with my limited stitching time, being able to work on a variety of my full coverage and get, you know, work on them, plus get the good progress on them as well. So I've been kind of tossing around the idea of having, because I still want my King Coda, which is a supersize Haid, and the one I'm doing for my mom, my dog double shelf. I still want those to kind of be my 2 focus pieces. But I also like to work on all my other full coverage too. So I was thinking about, since I use Pattern Keeper for pretty much my full coverage designs, is maybe doing like a rotation on King Coda and one on the dogs, and then picking up whichever one I felt like working on at that moment, like what's calling my name, and have the rotations be in Pattern Keeper where I work towards doing 1% of the chart. So about 1% on the ones that I do are still about, it ends up on the majority of them being about 4,000 stitches, which honestly is almost probably about 3/4 of a page or so. But I thought if I completed 1% of the pattern before I picked up a different one and started again and do 1% of that, all I have to do is pick it up 100 times and whoop, it'll be finished. So it's the little things, right? So only 100 rotations and I could knock some of these big projects out if I do the full 1%. So my King Coda one, since that one is a large chart, I was thinking maybe a 0.5% on that one before I switched, or we'll see. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about doing, but we'll see. I may just kind of keep doing what I'm doing, is in the little bit of stitching time that I get, just work on what's calling to me at the moment. So it's enjoyable and I get some progress, I guess. So anyway, that's about it. I'm still doing no new starts, and I've still stuck to that. There's been a few times where I've really wanted to start something, but if I don't even have time to work on the whips I have started, like, kind of what's the point of starting something new just to add it to my pile of things that I already don't have time to work on? So that's kind of stopped me from that. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to keep stitching as much as I can in the time I do have. So that is it for me, and I want to thank everybody that takes the time to subscribe to my channel and leave me comments and watches my videos. I really appreciate you so much. You have no idea. I really thank you for watching and subscribing and liking. And until next time, I'll try to come back the end of September, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more progress to share with you than I did this month. Until then, happy stitching, everybody.